Oh, here we go. Episode 4, live from the M Factor Studios in Jackson, Michigan. This is A to G. We're back for another Wednesday after a tough Sunday. We'll have the recap of the Michigan State game. Michigan does win at the barn earlier last Thursday. And, of course, we have Call the Three. With me to suffer through this one, as always, is the one and only Garrett Collier. G, how you doing, bud?
I'm all right. I mean, I'm enough days removed from the loss that I'm not bummed out anymore. But I wasn't so hot on Sunday. I was not looking forward to this week.
Right on. How's the early week been for you with suffering through all the Sparty fans and stuff?
I can't. I'm a millennial. I can't stay off my phone, so I'm always on, always on social media, and all the State fans. I mean, they have absolutely every reason to be chirping right now. They earned it. It's just, it's been a struggle.
It's very true, very true.
They earned it.
Well, we'll get right into it, folks. We will go in a little chronological order here. Michigan last Thursday against Minnesota does get a big win at the barn. Played very well, 69-60 to improve to 24-3 at that point in the season. Jordan Poole had a great game, 22 points, 5 of 10 from 3. Teskey with 17 points. He also was 3 from 6 from 3, including 2 crucial ones at the end there. Simpson with 12 assists. And then we talked about it last week, actually. Murphy had basically a double-double going into the second half. Yeah. He just continues to impress me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think he's, like we were just talking before we went live, that I think he's all Big Ten. If I had a vote, he'd be in the first team for sure. But I think they did a better job managing him in the second half than the first. At one point they were up 64-47.
Yeah.
I think that final score is a little bit closer than that game really was. I think that Michigan played really well in that one. I had every reason to believe we were looking good going into Sunday.
I think you and me both, brother. You and me both. But Teskey, like we mentioned, showed up big, hitting those 2 threes at the end. Michigan was kind of lights out from 3, 46.6, which is better than they've been shooting as basically all season. And one thing that also really helped us was Minnesota shooting 10% from three-point land.
They had not shot the ball well from 3 all year. They had one good game against Indiana where they went 12 of 21. Outside of that, they were really struggling. But the only negative in that Michigan-Minnesota game was just we got out-rebounded again, gave up quite a few offensive rebounds in the first half. But again, it seemed like they fixed it in at the half, in which Beeline's known for those halftime adjustments.
And it was against Murphy, probably one of the best rebounders in the Big Ten.
Definitely offensive rebounders, too.
He's
got to be up there in second chance points in the conference. I'm not sure what the stats
are. Just brush over the Minnesota game again. I do have a couple of M factors for that game. Yeah. Again, Michigan did step up for the second game in a row, only allowing 18 points in the first half. Would have been, 16 had they not allowed that last second.
Yeah, they ran on the floor and scored at the last second.
Yeah, exactly. So
great defense.
It was. So, again, that was 2 games in a row for Michigan, allowing only basically in the teens for defense, for one half. And then we alluded to it earlier, shooting well from three-point land. It has been kind of their MO to not be shooting good for the first time in Beeline's pretty much history at Michigan. They've been shooting just terrible. I think they dropped to 8th. They were 7th going into that Minnesota game. They might have dropped they were 7th going into that Maryland game the Saturday before, and I think they might have dropped to 8th in the Big Ten, where they've been a prolific three-point shooting team with Beeline there, and they've been 1 or 2 in the Big Ten, and just this year just hasn't been for them, G.
Yeah, which is surprising because, again, coming into the year, or even halfway through the year, we talked about how the good thing about Michigan is they've got 3 guys who can consistently knock down the 3, and Charles, Jordan, and Iggy that all start, and then Livers off the bench is a decent shooter. So it's been a little bit strange that they've struggled from 3. I'm not sure what the root of that is. But Teskey's been shooting the ball better, so there's no reason for them to be struggling so much from 3. It's not like this is the first Beeline team that just doesn't have shooters. So
exactly.
The team's full of shooters. They're just not making their shots this year. It's strange for sure.
Yeah, and at least in years past, we've always had a lot of great shooters, but when a lot of them are off, there's always that 1 or 2 guy, or there's 1 or 2 guys that always step up in the game and seem to always hit those threes. You know what I mean? At least to pick us up around the 30 to 40% range. At least a 40% range. Last year it was Wagner. That always step up. We had
Duncan Robinson,
absolutely,
Ali, somebody would make something.
Someone like Duncan off the bench and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Duncan, Stauskas, back in the day. Yeah. Just someone that you could always rely on to hit the 3. In my mind, it was Poole early on. Okay. I thought it was Poole early on. Not in this game, but in this game he had a great game shooting wise. But I really think Poole earlier this year has been the guy that we kind of look to for threes, but even he hasn't been hitting them except for this game. And so that was really rough, but it wasn't as bad this game for us. However, for Minnesota, hits 1 3-pointer. Yeah. 1 3-pointer all game. Yeah, they were 1 for 10 as we mentioned, 10%. 10% from 3-point land this game. So
not good.
And then of course my fourth M factor was for Minnesota actually, and that's Murphy just being a beast. He had a double-double